Recording. Boom. We are live. We are live. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my weekly, session of Blab. I'm really loving this platform. The topic for the last couple of weeks have been Stop Blaming Monday. It's your job that really sucks. All right. And, side note to that is collaboration and masterminding is what we're going to kind of talk about tonight on this Blab. But what I want to do is I want to give you guys a background on how I came up with this topic, right? Because I love telling stories. So about 3 weeks ago, I was talking to a friend of mine. Now, this is a friend I have known for many years. So this friend has seen me get involved in different business projects and always diversifying my income. But every time I see this friend, okay, they're always complaining about Monday. So I'm like, okay, what is it about Monday where this dude is always complaining about Monday, right? So I watched him. I watched it for a couple of years. And what I noticed is Monday through, Friday, he's like down and out until Friday comes, because he knows is what he's going into the weekend, right? So he knows Saturday and Sunday he's going to be off. So he's pretty much living for the weekend. And I'm sure everyone on this Blab right now knows someone that's like that, right? They're living for the weekend. So every time I talk to this guy, he'll say, man, here come Monday again. And he's blaming Monday, for the way he's feeling. And I'm like, so finally I said, listen, let me ask you a question. Is it really Monday that sucks? Or is it where you have to go to on Monday? And he sat there, he thought about it, and he said, you know what, Zach? That makes absolute sense. He was like, it's not that Monday sucks. It's the fact that I have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, get ready to go to a place and deal with people that I really don't like. I was like, okay, so let's break it down. So it's actually the job that sucks and not Monday, right? So he's like, yeah, you're right. So I said, you know what? Since I'm going to start using Blab, this will be an awesome platform to talk about this subject, because there are plenty of people out there who are just dreading Monday morning. I mean, a good mentor of mine, a mentor from afar, Eric Worre, has a video out, and he talks about in his video how Monday mornings has the highest heart attack rates because people are hating to get up to go to a place they really don't want to be at. So my question has been, okay, if Monday is not the problem and it's the job that sucks, what are we going to do about it, right? What are we going to do about it? So that hey, Tracy says, truth teller. Tracy, I'm sure you know some other people just like that. Like, I'm not going to mention any names, but guys, listen, I know a lot of people Sunday night, it's like they get this pit in their stomach, right? And it's like their stomach is balling up and they're like, man, Monday sucks. I'm like, it's not Monday. It is definitely not Monday. So I want to welcome Miss Pat Diva Designs to the Blab. So Pat, to give you a quick background before I jump into the 5 topics I want to go into on how this Blab came along. I have a good friend of mine who every time I talk to this guy, he's always talking about Mondays and how he thought Monday sucks. Okay. So I finally asked him a question. I said, listen, is it the fact that Monday sucks, or is it the place you're going to on Monday that really sucks? And he finally admitted to me, hey, Zach, it's actually the place I'm going to on Monday that sucks. So I decided to start a Blab because I feel like this is a pain point for a lot of people out there in the working world today. They feel like Monday sucks and it's really not Monday. So first question I want to ask you guys, right? And I want to make this as interactive as possible. So please post in the comment stream, you guys' thoughts on these questions. So I have 5 questions that I want to go over. So first one, guys, what's more important to you, having a job or creating income? That's the first question. What's more important to you, having a job or creating income? So go ahead and post that in the comment stream right now. Oh, Tracy says creating income. Oh, interesting. So Tracy, why do you say creating income is more important? Welcome, Sunflower. Welcome, Sunflower, to the Blab. So the question is, what is more important to you, having a job or creating income? I would love for you guys to post that I'm an entrepreneur that still works full time. All right, good stuff. So here's the follow up to that. Okay, so if having an income is more important than having a job, why do so many people go to a place, that they feel like they have to go to? Because let's face it, most people, when you talk to them, okay, when I ask them that question, what's more important, having a job or creating an income? Most people will say, well, Zach, my job is most important right now. And I will say, okay, why is that? And their answer is because they are generating some type of an income from their job right now. And they just haven't learned another way to create income. Okay, so they think having a job is the only way they can generate income. And I know Muhammad is tweeting out some stuff right now for me, but Muhammad, do you have anything you want to comment on real quick before I go to the next thing?
Sure. And I think that the point is income versus job. Interestingly enough, there was a comment by Resume Workshop that says people generally don't know their calling.
Yeah, I see that.
So when you don't know your calling, then in other words, if you don't have a plan for your life, then you are open to anyone else's plan. And it seems as though for the last several hundred years, the plan has been be under the employ of someone else, and that is the surest way of you having some income, some way of trading for the things that you want, right? If you're under the employ of someone else, they're going to give you something, either money or something that you can barter with to get the things that you want. But when you do that, you are your worth is being assessed by someone else. You're allowing yourself to be in the mental state of believing that someone else can better assess how much you're worth than what you are actually able to contribute to the marketplace. And so that's where the fallacy lies, and that's why so many people, then the other thing is ease. People do what's easy. And first of all, it's mental conditioning, and then the other thing is ease. And then the third thing, so you have three things going on. One is mental conditioning. The story has been go to school, get an education, get a job. So that's the story that's been told. So that's where the mindset comes in. The second thing is ease. It's easier to give yourself over to someone else for 8 hours a day and get a wage. It's easier. The third thing is this whole fallacy of security.
Hold on. No, wait.
No. I'm going to give it to you.
Okay.
If we asked what word goes with job, everyone would say security, right? Now, how is it that we've been programmed to have the word job and security go together, right? So the opposite of that must be, right? It must be that the opposite, if a job equals security, then obviously not having a job must mean what? Insecurity. Who told that lie?
And you know what?
Told that lie?
That was the next question. Who sold us, Muhammad, on this idea of job security? Who sold that idea? Like, where did that idea come from? And I see Tracy is going off in the comment stream because she said mommy and daddy did it, so it's learned from somewhere. So I want everybody to post in the comment stream who sold you on this idea of job security, and is it really secure? I mean, think about it, Muhammad. I don't know if you know people like I know. Okay, so
Right.
ladies and gentlemen, listen. I live in the great city of Columbus, Georgia. I love my city, right? But here's a couple of things I could tell you. The average income for a household in Columbus, Georgia, is $27,000 a year. Average. Okay, we have people in Columbus, Georgia, that work for these big companies that get laid off every single day, get fired every single day. Okay, so is it really secure? Is that income really secure income? If you have ever known anybody to get laid off from a job, I guarantee you it came out the blue and they were not expecting to get laid off from that job. So they thought it was secure, like Muhammad said, but guess what? It's the easy thing to do. Okay, it's the easy thing to do. Matter of fact, you kind of consider it lazy if you want to throw it out there, because guess what? It's not secure. So if we know the job is not secure, why do we put ourselves in a system that we know is bound to fail? You know, why does that happen? So,
well, therein lies the problem. There are a lot of people that absolutely don't believe that the job is not secure. As a matter of fact, the overwhelming majority of people in the 21st century, still with all this technology that we're swimming in technology, but yet and still, all of the people, the majority of people, 80 to 90% of the people on this planet are still under the conversation. You see, it's a conversation. They're under the conversation that job equals security. Job equals if I go to a place and contract myself under the employ of someone to do a task for a certain number of hours, then I'm going to receive income for that task, and that I'm sure of. Anything outside of that I decide to do today is an uncertainty. Well, it that could be true for your mental state, but it's part of a conversation. So for a long time, we're talking hundreds of years, the conversation has been. Let's go back even further than that. And it goes to an adage. Here's the adage. And this is why you have so many people believing that job equals security. Because the same people, that includes you and me, several hundred years ago, well, not even that long, 100 years ago, we believed that the best way to bring goods to the market was by hand. You would actually bring your goods to the market until we came into the Industrial Revolution, and then we automated the way that goods were brought to the market. Prior to that, 100 years prior to that, we believed that the only way that we could really earn income was to be engaged in agriculture, which means that in whatever kind of piece of dirt you had, you went out to your plot of land, you planted something, and that's what you had as provisions for your family. Other than that, if you had more than what you needed for your family, you brought those goods to market and you sold what's called cash crops at the marketplace, right? And so what happens is if you say a thing, if you get enough people saying a thing with enough frequency, that thing becomes true. So a job equals security, and is true because there's so many people saying it. Prior to that, it was the sun revolves around the planet. For thousands of years, that was true. If you go so far in a ship, you're going to fall off the end because the earth is flat. For so many people, that was true. And so, was it actually true? No, it's not actually true. Is job security actually the truth? No, it's not actually the truth. But we have so many people saying that. So what has to happen, right, so that you get out of the mindset that your job sucks, is you have to start a different conversation, a totally different conversation. I'm gonna give it back to you, Zach.
well, I mean, absolutely, we have to start a totally different conversation, and we have to get around some like-minded people who are willing to have, this conversation. Because I mean, honestly, the fact of the matter is why so many people believe that there's security in that is because when you're at work on the job, everybody around you is telling you, hey, you're at a good job. You got great benefits. You want to stay here 40, 50 years. And it gives you this false sense of security. But the thing about it is, if you're going day to day, and if anybody can fire you, Robert Kiyosaki says it's best in his book, if you can get fired tomorrow, then there's no security in that. There's no security. There's no guarantee on that job. So we have to start a different conversation. So, Muhammad, I ask you, ladies and gentlemen, if you're watching this blab, we have a couple of seats open. We invite you to come in on the conversation and let's talk about this, because we have to have a different type of conversation to get people in the mindset, like Tracy said, of generating income. Okay, because income is more important. We already have decided that. So let's talk about ways that we can generate income outside of the job, because I think that's the main problem, is that no one knows any alternate ways. Well, someone knows, but most of the masses do not know any alternate ways to generate income outside of their job. They don't know what options they have. And we have so many different 21st century tools out here now that you can use to generate income. But most of the time, someone has to teach you. You have to find a mentor to teach you how to do that.
I have something I want to ask as we're, because someone here in the audience is going to come up and take that other seat. And we encourage you to do so. It's not a hot seat. It's a fun seat. It's a seat where we get a chance to exchange ideas and share with the world, because who knows who's really watching this blab now, and who knows who this blab is going to benefit later. So you have the opportunity to be a part of history when you take part in these live stream conversations. So for that reason, we absolutely encourage you to come and take the open seat. But here's a reality as we're waiting for somebody to come in. The reality is that if the majority of people are saying that job equals security, and for them, that means that if I go to a location and give myself to an employer for this amount of time, tomorrow I'm going to get paid, right? And there's day laborers. Some people get paid by the day. So for some people, that's absolutely true. Then the counter question is, well, if I don't go to someone as an employee, if I don't go to an employer and hire myself to do a task for X number of hours tomorrow, then how am I going to get the income? That's the question. That's a healthy question. That's an absolutely healthy question, because here's why that's a healthy question. That question starts you out with tomorrow being your own day. See, you're in control of the day tomorrow, not someone else's control of the day.
Right.
You're in control of the time. And the time is something that you can't get back, number one. But what equally important is there is really no one aside from you and the creator, and opportunity, which is from the creator, that can determine how you use those hours and what the net result is going to be. See, that's the fun part. That's the exciting part. With the same hours that you're giving to someone else, where they're assessing what your worth is, who knows what you could come up with in the same amount of time or less. Who knows what you could partner with someone else to structure for half that time tomorrow, same day, but now you own the day and you get to structure what you do in the day. Who knows what the financial results would be? And here comes Tracy. Welcome, Tracy.
Welcome, Tracy. And I also want to welcome Miss Lisa to the conversation. Thanks for joining us, Miss Lisa. So while Tracy's coming on, I just want to recap real quick on how this blab came along. Welcome, Tracy.
Thank you.
No problem. I'm gonna recap for the audience real quick on how this blab came along. I have a good friend of mine who always complains about Monday. Every time I see him, He's complaining about Monday, talking about how bad Monday sucks. So I finally asked him, is it Monday that sucks, or is it where you're going to on Monday that sucks? And Muhammad and I have posed a couple of questions for the audience that anybody that's just tuned in, please feel free to comment in the comment stream, or guess what? Come and take a seat with us. The first question was, what's more important to you? Having a job or creating income? Having a job or creating income? And our friend Tracy, who just came on, she stated having an income is more important. And I'm gonna ask her to collaborate on some of that here in a second. And then we also talked about who sold you on this idea of job security. Okay, that was the next question. And then the third question was, okay, if income is more important, what ways are there out there to generate income, outside of a job? So what I want to do, I want to welcome Tracy to the conversation and have her kind of elaborate on why she said having an income is more important than the job. So Tracy, take it away.
Actually, I did not say having income. What I said is generating income.
Okay.
Okay. And there is a difference.
Okay.
Having income is that person that will go to that job, that 9 to 5, dreading it, not just Monday, but Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And then they're complaining on Saturday because Monday is coming. Generating income is a totally different. If you're working in your passion, you'll be more apt to jump up and do work whenever it is, whenever the calling is for you to do something, because you're creating income for yourself.
Absolutely. And Tracy said a couple things there. One thing I like is the passion. You have to find out what you're passionate about. So that way, when you are generating, this income, I mean, it doesn't feel like it's an extra tax to do. You don't dread going to do it. So I know, Tracy, you said you own a business yourself. Tell us what you do.
Yes, I'm the owner of the Resume Workshop. I create resumes for people to get jobs, and also I teach them how to job search. I just completed my first book entitled The 30-Day Job Search Jumpstart Challenge, because many people do not know how to do a proper job search, how to brand themselves for each and every opportunity, including entrepreneurship.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Tracy,
Go ahead,
may
Mama.
I ask a question? May I ask a question, Tracy?
Yes, you may.
Awesome. You develop resumes to help people look good, to help develop a story from their life experiences for a potential employer. Yes or yes?
Yes.
Okay, cool. And so, is there any difference in that process if we were developing a profile for ourselves to make ourselves attractive as partners for each other in a project? For example, let's say that you have an entrepreneurial mindset, and all that means, ladies and gentlemen, is entrepreneurial is a big word that says I generate income outside of a job. Doesn't matter what it is. You could be cutting grass. It really doesn't matter.
Absolutely.
And so Tracy has identified herself as being someone who generates income independently. And I like that. And I want to partner with Tracy in a project. I don't know what the project is yet, but we're surrounded by technology and opportunity that, if we put our brains together, allows income to flow to us. If we put our brains together. Tracy, do you believe that there's perhaps not enough masterminds where people are putting their brains together and really exercising their mental muscle to find ways to generate income outside of a job? Is that a possibility?
I believe that wholeheartedly. I have never been.
How do we reverse that, Tracy?
Well, first thing to me would be awareness. Okay. People don't know, and then again, they don't know that they don't know.
What is it
So,
that they don't know? Forgive me. Let's break it down. What is it that you feel that they don't know?
well, they don't know that there are opportunities outside of a 9 to 5. No matter what that 9 to 5 entails, they just know that I just need a 9 to 5, and if I lose one 9 to 5, I'm going to look for another 9 to 5 instead of looking for a way to mastermind with them, those who they know, to be able to find other opportunities outside that 9 to 5.
What keeps them from not knowing? Because I want to challenge you in the phrase not knowing to another phrase, not believing.
Mm.
And not knowing means that, I just don't know that there's another way to generate income. And that could be the case, but alternatively, it could be not believing. And not believing is it's a whole nother set. And that set is there's not enough visible examples for me to confirm in my mental state, in my thinking process, that I can do it. That I can, there's not enough examples of people that are earning outside of a job. Seems like everybody that I know earns inside of a job. Therefore, there's not enough examples for me to believe that I could do something than what I see the majority of people do. How do we reverse the belief system?
But that one way you would reverse it is that people, when they see other people being successful, it's not their goal to run out and help them with that success, not realizing whatever it is that they're doing, they can be uplifted by what they help others to do. They'd rather have that crab syndrome where I see you going up. Let me create a way to pull you down to see where I am at because I don't want to see you prosper. Okay, so if you don't know, it's a good idea to watch what successful people are doing and then mimic what they're doing or even ask. Mentorship is big. I work at a university during the day, full time, and I've been working in the education field for about 7 years now. And in those 7 years, my goal has been to uplift students because a lot of them don't even know that when they graduate college, there's no jobs waiting for them. And the
Mm.
jobs that are out there, they have to compete with seasoned workers. So why not go out and do your own thing? Find that thing that is passionate for you and then run with it and bring others with you.
Yeah,
Okay, so
I read a survey just in the last 30 days that for college graduates, it was some crazy percentage that in any given field or study, only 17% of the graduate pool in general would be successful in finding employment in their first year.
yes,
So out of 100% of people that are graduating,
yep,
only 17% of people will be successful in their first year in finding a job, not necessarily in their field, but
right.
just finding a job. And so that means 83% of people who go through 4 years of formal education and the dollars that go along with that,
Mhm.
83% of them will not be successful, talking about a failure rate, will not be successful in finding employment. In other words, finding a situation where somebody is going to um, give them an opportunity to come to a location, do a task, and get paid for that task.
Absolutely.
83%.
That's astronomical. I'm surprised by that, but in a way that I'm not, because an education is really not preparing students for jobs. They're
Mm,
really giving them theory when students today, they need hands-on. So
mm,
even though I have 3 degrees, I'm not a big proponent of someone doing a 4-year degree. I'm more of a proponent of a 2-year degree, then entering the workforce, creating that skills, and then going back to get the 4.
Okay. And I don't want to digress from the topic, because the topic is stop blaming Monday, right?
Absolutely.
It's the job that sucks. But I do want to say this while we're on the subject of education. Isn't it amazing that in the 21st century, we're surrounded by technology tools that allow us to mastermind, collaborate at the speed of now? We can jump on one of these platforms and have a full-on conversation with somebody who's totally on the other side of the world, another continent 18 hours away, somewhere in East Asia, or 12 hours away in Australia, or wherever they may be, in real time, as though we're speaking across the table from each other. Isn't it amazing that we have more personal computing power in our hands now to be able to fact find and come up with an answer for a question that we have almost instantaneously, when 10 years ago, for the most part, everyone that didn't have some kind of home computer 10 years ago, not 20 years ago,
Yes.
10 years ago, if you didn't have a home computer, you had to go to the library.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
You had to go to the library. Now, in the palm of your hands, you have Google Instant Access, or whatever search engine you want to use. And so, how am I tying this? Education, although I am a strong advocate of being well educated, here again the fallacy is, does education necessarily mean that I go through an institution's formal 4-year program in order to get the information that I need to apply the value that I have inside of me? Because we're born with value. We're born with a credo. We're born, and we come into talents and skill sets that we find, oh wow, I'm pretty good at so and so and so, right? And so, in order for me to enhance my education for the things that I'm already good at, the things that I already have a predisposition to, do I need to go 4 years? Now, see, even the formal education system has been upgraded.
Mm-hmm.
It's upgraded
Yes.
by technology,
Absolutely.
right? So, it's conversations that keep us. It's the conversations that keep us in a certain mental state. It's the conversations that keep us in a certain set of habits, certain set of behaviors. When the conversations change, the habits change, the behaviors change, the expectations change. Isn't that interesting?
Yes.
Absolutely. And I want to comment on what you just said, Mohammed. And I think Tracy will be able to piggyback off this as well. So, actually growing up, my dad has always owned his own business, right? And he really didn't teach me, go to school, get a good education, get a good job. My dad taught me, if you're going to go to school, like you were saying, Mohammed, it's a formal education, but take what you learn and go start a business. My dad taught me that, because my dad has always owned a business. So when Tracy was saying more hands-on, students got to be more hands-on, my dad had me out in the field with him in his business, helping him sell, helping him learn everything about the business. And he told me, he said, listen, if you go get a job right out of high school, I want you to learn everything about that job, all of their systems, how they operate, so that way you can start your own business. So my question to Tracy is, because when I went to school and I went to college, I majored in business, right, Tracy? And the funny thing to me is this: none of my professors owned a business. And I was like, wow. So if you were my professor, Tracy, I would listen to you because you own a business. So I never forget, Tracy. I never forget. I was in class and I was I guess you can call me that rebel in school, because I was always that guy to ask why. So I raised my hand and I said, hey, Dr. So-and-so, why am I listening to you? I said, I hate to be disrespectful, but why? Because he just told me that his brother owned 10 IHOPs. So his brother is qualified to teach me how to own a business because his brother owns a business. but my professor never owned one. So I was like, why am I sitting here paying all these thousands of dollars a semester and you can't even teach me to do something because you've never done it? So Tracy, my question to you is, why is it in the school systems we don't teach people, instead of us preparing them for a job, because we know it's a job that sucks. We already said that. Why don't we prepare them to own a business?
Well, the thing about it is that with me working in two education systems, the people that are the professors and running the colleges, they have old ways of thinking. They are trying to come up to what today's standards are, but they are not there. And in the meantime, the students are still coming. The students are getting into a lot of debt behind going to school. And then when they get out of school, they cannot get a job. They cannot even write a proper resume. They do not even know how to compete. So therefore, it would behoove them to not only get that education if you're going to go that route, but also know your industry and be able to create a position for yourself in your own company. Because if you're sitting around waiting on the companies to employ you, it's just not happening. I said in the chat that automation is taking over and running rampant. It's running positions into areas where people actually are in those positions today. They no longer exist. So therefore, they're going to have to create a job for themselves. Now, I've always had the entrepreneurial thought. As a matter of fact, I raked leaves, shoveled snow. I used to draw fingernail polish on the nails of the neighborhood for a quarter, because I've considered myself the first nail polish doer, because I would buy the polish and I would put the design on with toothpicks. I created bookmarks, personalized bookmarks, candy bar wrappers for all occasions, sold all around the world as a young girl, taught myself calligraphy, drawing, painting, you name it. And then I educated myself for 3 degrees. But knowing that I have those 3 degrees, them 3 degrees did not give me the thought that I still always wanted my own. And I fell into resume writing by doing it for people for free. I didn't know it was a business. And now that I know it's a very lucrative business, because there's so many people that don't know how to write a resume. Mm-hmm. It's a business that someone that can, so if they can write, they can go into today. All they need is a computer, a phone line, and some paper, and they can do resumes and get paid upwards for $500 to $1,000 per resume. It is, job search is real, and knowing how to do it is real. And most people don't know how to do a proper construction of a resume to even get a job, to be able to compete with those who are, like I said, seasoned workers, and those who are already said, hey, let me enter this entrepreneurial game and master it. It's big. Entrepreneurship is real, and they can make a lot of money and a lot of fulfillment and a lot of less doomy Mondays working for the man.
Absolutely. And Tracy, watch this now. Watch this, because Muhammad just posted in the comment stream a Facebook mastermind that we are part of. And Tracy, we invite you to join that mastermind. It's called Create Lifestyle Freedom. And, you know, we continue this conversation in that mastermind because, Tracy, here's what we find out, right? Because Lisa posted in there, the system that we're talking about, it's a system to keep people contained, right? And what we've noticed, especially with the millennial generation, is they have found a way to break out of those constraints, because they have seen what their parents went through and they don't want to do it. They don't want to have to worry about working 40 to 50 hours a week for somebody, have to worry about getting laid off for their job. So guess what these millennials are doing, and other people that are not the millennial generation, as Generation X, they're doing as well. They're masterminding and collaborating, right? And Tracy, for example, you like making resumes. So wouldn't it be a great idea to have a group, okay, a group of people who all love to write and create resumes and can share a thought on how to do that, put them in this mastermind, have them collaborate together, and guess what? Eventually, your mastermind is huge, it's globally, right? And in this mastermind, you all take ownership of tools together that when somebody comes into that mastermind, they get the tool and the people in the mastermind generate an income.
Yes.
Wouldn't that make sense?
Oh, it makes a whole lot of sense. You're actually reading my mind, honestly, because I came up with a system not only to do the resume, but to brand the client between their resume, cover letter, thank you letter, and reference sheet. It has to create a brand, and that brand must match the posting of each and every opportunity they are applying to. So if they're not doing that, and then speaking to the applicant tracking system, which is reading their resume to match it up to that job posting, they'll never find a job.
Absolutely. So, Tracy, we definitely invite you to join us in that Facebook mastermind and keep this conversation going, because we need more thought leaders like you, Tracy, in this mastermind to where we can collaborate and all share our ideas together, to teach people how to use these 21st century tools to generate that income that we talked about. So we definitely welcome you into that mastermind.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Muhammad, I saw you had something. Your mind was going. I saw. What do you want to say? Because I want to go ahead and get ready to close this on out. We've been on here for about an hour now. So go ahead and say your final thoughts. Let's close this on out, Muhammad.
Sure. That finding ways to pour value into the relations that you have is the best form of economics. That's one thing. So here it is. If you say a thing, if you get enough people saying a thing with enough frequency, that thing becomes true. We're witnessing that, there are a lot of people that are saying job equals income. There are a lot of people that are saying job equals security. There aren't enough people that are saying my talents, my skill sets equal abundance. See, my talents, my skill sets equal abundance. The reason why they're not saying that is because there's not enough other voices saying that. And so my thing is let's start a whole new level of conversation, because we're in a time now, we're in the time of my story marketing, when all of us have technology tools that allow us to broadcast your story, to broadcast the message that's important to you with millions of people with the click of a mouse. So we're in a prime time to start a whole new series of conversations. So my statements to end this are: finding ways to pour financial value into your circle of relationships is the best economics. That also, number two, residual income, monies that flow to you month after month after month, that's the door to wealth. And relationships are the keys that unlock that door. So we invite everyone here to share that with the world, right? Residual income is the door to wealth. Relationships are the keys that unlock that door. That we're moving from job-based income to project-based income, and we have the technology tools to show you how to.
And Muhammad, tell everybody about your up and coming blabs you have. How can he find you on Blab, sir?
Awesome. Yeah, we have a blab that's coming up this Thursday that I think the audience would find fascinating. The title of that blab has something to do with global wealth networks. A really exciting topic. Global wealth networks is a phenomenon that was first mentioned by Forbes back in 2012, where they were noticing that there are groups of people all around the world that are using these 21st century technology platforms and tools to lock arms. Regardless of what country they're in, they're using 21st century online tools and systems to lock arms. And mastermind for basically two reasons: to gain complete mastery over their daily cash flow, their monthly income, and how they manage their financial affairs, and number two, to gain complete mastery over their time. So on Thursday, we're going to visit this conversation about global wealth networks, this phenomenon, and let's see if I can, I'll put my Blab channel, if you don't mind. I'll put the Blab channel here, and those of you who are on now, you can go over to the Blab channel and find that Thursday session.
Funny that you mentioned global. I work at in the global division of the university that I work at.
Awesome.
No, it's not funny. It's we're exactly the right timing. It's exactly where we're supposed to be. This conversation, this meeting, Tracy, between you and me, who would have known that we would have hooked up? You know, we have technology platforms like this that allow that to happen. So it's not by accident. Isn't it ironic? No, it's absolutely the time for it. It's time for great people with great thoughts to connect and share and go and teach others how to go from job-based income, because that was 20th century, that was 19th century, that was 18th century and before, to project-based income, and use technology tools to allow monies to flow to us without having to grind for it. That's what time it is. So I'm excited to meet you, Tracy. And I hope that you've taken the initiative to come over and hit the request on the Facebook group. We'll be happy to mastermind with you there.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, we do this Blab every single Monday. Awesome. Hopefully, I will not have any Blab difficulties next Monday. But I have definitely enjoyed Tracy being on, giving her input. Absolute pleasure. Look forward to seeing you in our Facebook mastermind. And, look forward to seeing you back out again on my next Blab Monday at 10 p.m. So come back and join us, Tracy. We're definitely going to continue the conversation.
Will do. My pleasure.
Absolutely. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and end this Blab for tonight. We invite you to watch the replay if you missed it, and we will be back next Monday, 10 p.m. Hope to see you guys then.
Thank you, gentlemen.
All right. Thank you.